Taste of Country Nights with Evan Paul on demand, season 2, episode 25 with Dylan Scott.
And then come to find out, I show up to the shoot, and it's the Jockey Outdoors brand. So I'm in outdoor clothes, which is fine. That's my life. That's what I do. But I was just like, man, I done went through all this hard work, and I'm not even going to be in my underwear. And I told him that. I was like, hey, we got to do something about this.
Dylan Scott's the man. We had a lot of fun. He was in here. We talked about what he's got going on in life, music, kids, everything at home. He's got his own business that he collects trash. Dylan Scott's a really good guy as well, as you'll hear in this interview. If you want to listen to some of the past interviews, Jelly Roll we had on recently, Darius Rucker was on, Luke Combs came and hang out. Just search for Taste of Country Nights on demand wherever you get your podcasts. All right, we're hanging out here with Dylan Scott. What's happening, man?
Oh, living life.
Yeah, this town's been too good to us. It's going crazy.
It's wild, man. We released that almost a year ago and just blew up for us. It kind of started a cool trajectory, man. Like, obviously, things have been going up in my career, having hits, but then when we released that song, it's like kind of moved the needle a little bit. So it feels good, man.
It's been almost a decade since Making This Boy Go Crazy.
Gosh.
Is that crazy to hear?
It is crazy to hear. I've been in this town 14 years, man. 14 years.
What would you tell, 2013 Dylan? You get one or two things you could say to yourself.
Just chill out a little bit. Don't stress as much. Be patient, because that was me, man. I was stressing and not patient, and just always, I would wake up in the morning. The first thing I would think is, man, how can we get this thing going? But I mean, hey, that's probably what got it going, was just freaking working, man.
What has changed and what has stayed the same with you, musically?
Musically, I mean, becoming, a daddy has changed a lot. It changes your writing. It changes your perception on life in general, in a good way for me. I mean, it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. It's kind of mellowed me out in a way. It's like, all right, whatever happens, I'm good, but still the same. I mean, shoot, still working hard, still having a good time, still road dogging it, man, out there playing our shows, doing our thing.
Yeah, and you still are able to interject your traditional sound to some of your newer records and stuff like that. Do you find as you get older, you appreciate certain artists more than you did as a teenager?
Yeah, you know what I really liked the older I get, and I used to not really like this style of music, is the Texas country, red dirt stuff.
Interesting.
Always respected it. I mean, it is what it is, but I was just like, it's okay. The older I get, man, I'm just like, God, I love it, which is kind of crazy too, because I grew up on old school country music. I mean, Keith Whitley and, Randy Travis and all that stuff. And I just could never get into the red dirt, but man, I love the red dirt.
Really? Do you remember when it first started? What'd you hear? What record brought you to
I mean, it was just, what I really loved was is it Kiss Me in the Dark, Randy Rogers Band?
Oh, yeah.
Kiss Me in the Dark.
Okay.
Roll Me Through the Night. Man, I heard that record and I was like, man, that is so cool, But yeah, I love it.
Okay. And it's influencing your future projects, right?
I mean, in a way, yeah. My music is kind of all over the place right now, which is cool. I'm not really focusing on a whole album where everything's got to be all the continuity, everything kind of fits together. It's man, I'm just focusing on songs right now. And that's what's cool. It's if I want to release something or write something that is my roots, traditional country, I do that. And then at the same time, I mean, I grew up listening to everything. So if I want to have something that's a little more edgier, a little more pop, I'll throw that out there as well.
And you're on the road with Cole Swindell?
Yeah, man. Having a good time.
You guys are boys?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Is it true? Somebody told me that Cole Swindell, Jason Aldean told me that Cole Swindell still lives in an apartment above a bar.
I had this conversation with him literally this past weekend. I said, hey, dude, where you at right now? Because I know he's about to get married and do his deal. He said, man, I'm still living in the same place. I was like, that's crazy, man, which is good for him. He's probably saved so much money by doing that.
Can you narrow it down? Obviously, don't tell us where he lives, but What are we talking here? Because I'm picturing I'm picturing he lives like above a subway.
Yeah, I've never been there. I just know what it is, But
What
he did
is
say
it?
he did say he is building a house. Right now, they've been building it for a little while now. So I think he's about to transition to the homebody life, which is good. I mean, he's getting married. I don't think his wife is going to want to live in the condo downtown or wherever. So
Is he? Are there any good Cole Swindell stories you could share?
I have not made any great Cole Swindell stories yet.
Okay.
But I'm going to. Cole is man, he's just such a cool dude. He's just real, and that's what I love about Cole. He does his thing. He plays his shows and he golfs, and that's kind of it,
That's the deal. Yeah. Tell me about working out. So, like, on a scale of like 1 to Tim McGraw, like, where are we at? What are we trying to attain?
Nowhere near Tim McGraw. You know what I'm doing? I'm just I'm in that maintain phase. You know what I mean? Like, I'll go out and eat super unhealthy, but make sure I work out so I can still at least look like I work out.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm probably not healthy at all.
What are we talking, like, super unhealthy eating wise?
Oh, Whataburger. I'll stop in and grab some onion rings and a cheeseburger any day of the week. Yeah, Taco Bell. Just bad stuff for you, man. There will come a time in my life, where I may have to kick it up a notch and get on that Tim McGraw level, the older I get, but we'll see.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see. You're the Jockey brand ambassador.
Yeah, man.
Have they tried to get you in your chonies yet?
Well, I thought that's what the deal was. So when my manager called me, he's like, hey, we're going to do a deal with Jockey. I'm like, perfect. Underwear. That's what I had in my mind. I did get in the best shape of my life after she told me that. Like, I went on a clean diet, started working out super hard, like chiseled six pack. I'm like, I can't be in my underwear and look, like a dad. And then come to find out, I show up to the shoot and it's the Jockey Outdoors brand. So I'm in outdoor clothes, which is fine. That's my life. That's what I do. But I was just like, man, I done went through all this hard work and I'm not even going to be in my underwear. And I told him that. I was like, hey,
okay,
we got to do something about this.
Is that something? Well, here's the deal. I mean, if they don't want to put you in it, there's other companies that probably will.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, if you do want to get it out there,
I'm gonna work on that with them.
Okay.
We did extend our deal. I'm still with Jockey, so
okay,
we're gonna see what comes about.
Okay. I mean, might I recommend like just full tighty whitey?
I told my wife, I said, there's no such thing as bad exposure. Like,
right.
It's all good,
What'd she have to say?
Honestly, she was just like, whatever you want to do, I'm good with it.
But she knows like the depths of the farmer's tan, though. She knows you'll be all right?
Oh, yeah, we'll be fine.
Okay.
We'll be fine.
What's a song of yours? Is there a song of yours that was a huge hit, but you didn't like it at the time, but like now you've grown to love it?
I will tell you right now, I released a new song 2 months ago called What He'll Never Have. And it's not that I didn't like it. I wrote the song. I just, in my mind, was like, it's another song. I wrote another song. And then I played it for my wife, and she goes, this is my favorite song you've ever written. And I'm like, are you serious right now? Then I played it for some buddies. They're like, this is my favorite song you've ever written. It's like, are you serious? I'm just like, what? Played it for my manager. She's like, I feel like this is something you would have done 5 years ago. I'm like, yeah, I kind of feel the same way.
Okay.
Teased it on TikTok, blew up. Teased it again on TikTok, blew up. I'm like, man, what is going on here? So anyway, long story short, I released the song because the fans wanted it. My wife loved it. It was still is our biggest release I've ever had. The streams on it are crazy, blows my mind. It just goes to show me sometimes in our creative brains, we overthink it too much, So
100%.
Yeah. Wild.
That's crazy. I mean, I can relate, not on any level, but like a radio bit, like you'll prepare it for days and then you like accidentally like snort on the radio and someone will be like, when you snorted that one time, the funniest thing I ever heard.
Yeah.
And you're like, what about all this other stuff?
Yeah. What about this great thing I talked about? Yeah.
Who would you never want to play after?
Play after? Shoot, dude, I'll play after anybody. Come on now. You got to be confident.
Okay.
No, I'm not playing after. can't play right now. You can't play after Luke Combs. You can't play after Morgan Wallen. But somebody who's like not quite as big as them that I don't want to play after, Brice. The dude's vocals are just insane. I was like, man, I'll do it. But man,
he ain't gonna be happy. Yeah. I want to talk about real quick. You're running the successful trash business,
something like that.
In your hometown, right? You're up to over 1,000.
Oh, we're over 6,000.
6,000 houses.
6,000 houses in Louisiana right now.
Wow. Okay, so what is the craziest thing that you've heard of, or you have found, or your company has told you they have found in the trash?
I can't say that on the air, but use your imagination.
What?
Hey, let me tell you something. We've seen some crazy stuff. And my partner in the business, he sends them to me every single day. And I'm like, you're kidding me.
What?
People are wild.
What?
People are wild at their houses, man.
Really? And you really get to know a lot just from seeing that.
Oh, no doubt.
Wow.
But the trash business is, man, I'm really enjoying it. We started during COVID because we couldn't play shows. My buddy was laid off from work, complaining about his garbage. And I said, man, let's just start our own. And we started with his truck and a dump trailer. That was 3 years ago. And now we've got 5 garbage trucks, guys hanging off the back of it, 6,000 houses. So we actually moved a branch of it up here to Nashville. We're doing roll-off dumpsters up here. We got a team up here. So just, I don't know, man. It's cool. It gives me a break from the music every now and then to just have some normal conversations and business stuff. It's a lot of fun.
I want to talk about a video we saw on Twitter. It was where you were with your daughter and she didn't want to wear.
Yeah. I'm ready to wring some people's necks over this video.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Yeah. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, she didn't want to wear this little romper that her mama picked out for her. And she comes down the stairs and camo overalls, got them rolled up at the bottom with these, sandals on. I'm like, that's my country girl right there, And a lot of all the comments are great except for a few people. They're like, oh, she needs to put a shirt on. Oh, da da da. This little girl is 4.
Right.
And she's covered up.
Yeah.
And I'm her daddy.
Yeah.
And she's got a mama.
She's all right.
Keep your mouth shut.
Right.
Keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
People are wild. I posted a video the other day. I was working on my tractor, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm proud of this. Like, hey, I don't have to hire nobody to work on my tractor. I got this. And I post a little Monday motivational, like, hey, you got to get out there and get to work. And some guys are like, man, you're not even dirty. You ain't working on that. You got somebody else over there working on it. Man, what is wrong with people,
People are crazy.
Can I not work on my own dang tractor? Just keyboard warriors, man.
Yeah, definitely. What's next for you, man? 2024, what's next?
Oh, just a lot, man. Like I said, we got all summer long with Cole out on tour. Got a lot of music coming out this year that I'm really excited about that hopefully I think will keep us going in the right direction, which is up,
Yeah.
That's all you can hope for. But it's, other than that, man, just raising babies and running trash businesses. And it's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah. Are you done having kids?
Oh, yeah. I took care of that problem.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I didn't take care of it. My wife took care of it.
Well, let's hear it.
I was on the road and she shot me a text and says, hey, I made you a doctor's appointment with, ironically enough, his name was Dr. Little. Made you a doctor's appointment with Dr. Little. I was like, all right, sounds good. So we took care of that problem. Yeah.
Wow.
She,
okay.
After our first kid, she said, I don't want any more. And we always talked about, she comes from a big family. I come from a big family. It's like, let's have 5 kids when we got married, We had our first one. She's like, that's it. We're done. I was like, whatever you want. Yeah. Time goes on. She wants another one. It's like, perfect. Had 2, boy and a girl. Life is good, man. We got it. Everything's great. And then she decided she wanted another one. Yeah. So, but she did after the 3rd one. She said, that's it. No more.
What would you have to say to someone like Thomas Rhett, who recently told me that he is scared to get a vasectomy?
I was scared to get one. I'll be honest with you. That's a very vulnerable thing to do as a man. Yeah. I go in the doctor's office and the first thing, I've never met this man, Dr. Little. He was great, by the way. And the first thing he says is, drop your pants. never had a man tell me that before.
Right.
And my response was, all the way. He said, all the way. So it's an experience, but it's nothing to it, man. Nothing to it.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming by.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right, let's bring in Billy Dukes from behind the camera to talk about this interview. What's going on, man?
I was a little surprised that his workout, he doesn't take his physical fitness more seriously than he does, because on social media, it appears that like he's all in all the time.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and say he's a sleeper. So what I mean by that is like when a Toyota Camry that pulls up to a red light looks like an old Toyota Camry, but it's got like a jet engine in it, and you don't know about it, and it'll just roast you off the line. He's not talking about it, but you don't just get ripped like that for nothing. Like he's a little bit ripped. Like he's got something going on. He's doing something.
Are you sure he's not like my brother's car back in the day, like a new Ford Mustang that just had a 4-cylinder?
Yeah,
maybe.
That you put exhaust on it, but it still sounds like a 4-cylinder Mustang. Don't get me started.
Huge spoiler on that thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, what are you trying to get? What needs to be held down so much back there? Well, how fast are you going with your 181 horsepower max?
I really like Dylan Scott. He does a good interview, and kind of going down history or memory lane with him a little bit was interesting as well, because what he said is he was an artist who needed to chill out a little bit and not take everything so seriously. And I think that's kind of how he presented a decade ago, was an artist who maybe just needed to dial it down a notch. But now it seems like he's there.
What do you mean, like dial it down? Do you mean like I don't recall. I don't think I was doing country
right,
really.
Yeah.
Was he like wild, or was his music just like too poppy, or like what was it?
There was just kind of an intensity about it. Like when he was singing a love song, it was like the most heartfelt love song you could imagine. Like the production was always turned up. The videos were like, maybe he overacted a little bit in the videos and overperformed, where he was just kind of trying to constantly like, oh yeah, I'm here. I'm so, like he wasn't saying that, but it just seemed like he was coming on a little strong from the get-go.
Okay. So, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say, and I probably would say this to him if he was sitting in front of me, but he has a look about him that he kind of looks mean. He looks like what's a dog or something? He doesn't look like a dog. What's a dog that's mean looking but they're nice? Like that's what he is.
Yeah. Like a boxer or like a bulldog, I think is kind of what you're saying. Like a bulldog.
He looks like a bulldog or a boxer. Like for some reason, if you Google, if you're in your car right now, you might not be able to, but if you can Google Dylan Scott, if you can't get the actual picture in your head, I think it's his eyebrows, the way that his eyebrows are. He just looks intense, and maybe he was typecast because of that. I mean, his music wasn't like too intense, was it? I mean, I don't know.
No, I think you're onto something. He's a handsome man. He's very, very manly features, I guess you would say. Like his face is very like sculpted, like you would expect. If someone like were to draw up like the typical manly man, like they would get pretty close to what Dylan is, and there's a level of aggressiveness or assertiveness that comes with that, fairly or unfairly, and that was probably lunked on him while he was kind of maybe coming on a little strong in his music videos. He
kind of looks like he would like kill the cow, cut it open, cook it, and eat it right on the spot. But I don't think he would.
I don't think he would either.
Yeah.
Did you relate, to that moment? You were asking him about the video with his daughter wearing the camo overalls and people giving him heat for it. Like, as a girl dad, is that you? Are you like kind of like just letting your kids be country out there in the neighborhood, or do you have no say in that kind of thing?
It's a funny question, because like, when my daughter was first born, like I was putting her in, like not we had girl clothes, but like when I got to choose something, it would be like, coolest. My dad's the coolest, and her hat would be backwards or something, and so like, but when I look back at pictures of her then, I'm like, man, I was really trying to do that. Yeah. So like, I think like, and now my daughter's like a girly girl, and she wouldn't be, caught dead, wearing her hat backwards necessarily. So I think that I related a lot to that. When I see, it's weird because these artists are like kind of all my age, and the ones that have kids my age, it's like, even though they're 8 million trillion times richer and they have a career and everything, we can relate on that level.
Oh, yeah.
So it's interesting.
They all got the same problems. What's your daughter's sneaker collection like? Because you're a big sneakerhead. Does she have some kicks?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's got, she's got 2 pair right now. She's got 1 pair that's too big. So she's got her pair for the upcoming school year ready to go that she's not wearing. And then she has a pair for like next summer ready to go that she's not wearing. So she's a size 9.
Not going to fit into those.
Well, she has a size 9, and then for school, and then a size 10 for next year. So I like to line them up in succession.
You remember, like, and you probably do this with your kids, like, you buy a pair of shoes, you leave a little bit of room at the toe just so they can kind of grow into it a little, right?
Yeah.
Well, like, I never got the message that, like, somehow it never clicked to me that, like, once you reach a certain age, you don't need to do that. So I was like 25 and trying on shoes and leaving a little room at the toe. And my wife was a girlfriend back at the time. She's like, why are you doing that? Just buy shoes that fit. I'm like, well, you got to leave. She's like, your feet aren't growing anymore, honey. Like, you're 25 years old. You're done. Like, you've been a size 10 for as long as I've known you. I'm like, oh, that's just how I've always been raised.
That's hilarious. I can't say I did that. I think I figured it out, but I maybe not. I mean, I'm sure there's not a day where you wake up and go, today's the day my feet stopped growing, but I surely figured it out before you did.
So going back to a Dylan Scott, we were talking about how I'm kind of being an assertive man. Like, he's the guy who wanted to be in his underwear in the Jockey commercial and was bummed out that he couldn't, like, show off his abs or his glutes in the Jockey commercial. Like, that kind of fits into that.
Yeah, whereas, like, I believe we've talked to, like, Riley Green, who is an underwear model now, who was, like, scared to do it. So it's, like, so weird that the opposites are doing what the opposites don't want to do.
He'll get his chance. I think Dylan probably will. Somewhere. Maybe it's just his wife taking home photos.
I mean, he's 33. You got to think he's got some kids. The dad bod starts. When's the dad bod start? Like 35? You can't help it. It's like even Major League Baseball players, you'll notice in their uniform, it's like the upper butt of a dad, like the upper butt back, like right where it mixes. Like you can tell as it hits about 35, 36, you could tell like in their pants, like, oh yeah, that's dad bod is coming in. It happens to every guy, whether you know it or don't. It happens. So like he's got about 3 years left, so they need to hurry it up.
Yeah, the more kids you have, I think the quicker the onset of dad bod is. Ask Thomas Rhett, who's got a ton of kids.
Yeah,
and he's there.
And it's not even like so much. It's a little bit of weight. It's not so much weight. It's more of just the shift and from the gravitational pull. I mean, it's scientific.
Before we wrap, we should mention we got some heaters coming on this show in the next couple of weeks. I don't know if next week we're sure who we're going to have, but we have Jason Aldean coming in for a podcast. Kelsey Ballerini is going to be on very soon. And am I missing anybody? Or are those the two bangers we got coming up here right quick?
I think those are the two. Yeah, those are the two big heaters. Those are coming up soon. And in the past, you can check out. They all stop by. Kenny Chesney, Garth Brooks. I mean, you name it. They even let us talk to Dolly Parton and Reba. Like they're all there at Taste of Country Nights on Demand, wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Thanks a lot, Billy Dukes, a.k.a. Billard.
That's a new one.
Yeah, Billard Scott.